but for them to do that much damage and you didn't stop it lets me know there is a lot of bad detections. Everybody's siloed. Policies are bad because there should be a policy, and this is one of the things like we were talking about on a handover, because we were talking about making detections for this just in case, because everybody pretty much uses most of the time Intune.
If you are not aware, your girl is from the city where Stryker is. Do your math, do your research. But I really was excited to talk about this. So Stryker is headquartered in Portage, Michigan, which is basically where I'm from. Well, not Portage, but Kalamazoo. And so I know a lot of folks who work there. So when this hit Facebook, you know how it be. It was a lot of information. So on March 11th, 2026, a pro-Iranian hacktivist group called Handala claimed responsibility for a massive cyber attack on Stryker, one of the world's largest medical device companies. We're talking surgical equipment, orthopedic implants, neurotechnology, hospital beds. They have about 25 billion in revenue with about 56,000 employees, and their products reach about 150 million patients a year. Now, let me take a step back. What is a hacktivist group, and how is this different from ransomware? So, Handala says it wiped more than 200,000 servers, devices, and systems across Stryker's global network in 79 countries. Employees showed up to work and saw the Handala logo on their login screens. People's phones were wiped. The company shut down offices in multiple countries, including their largest hub outside the US in Cork, Ireland, where over 5,000 employees were sent home. Now, this was a wiper attack, not ransomware. And let's kind of talk a little bit more about what that distinction is. So, ransomware obviously is about money, wipe attacks are about destruction. Handala wasn't asking for a payout. They stated that this was retaliation for a U.S. military strike on a girls' school in southern Iran, the Manab school attack that killed over 170 people, most of them being children. Cyber researchers who track Hamdallah believe the group is actually a front for a threat actor called Void Manticore, which is linked allegedly to Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security. So while they present as hacktivists, they may be state level resources that's backing them. Now, what is really wow, according to security analysts, the attackers may have gained access to Stryker's Intune console, which is the mobile device management platform that companies use to push out patches and manage all of their devices. So when you control that console, you control basically the kill switch. So they didn't need custom malware. They used Stryker's own tools against them. Now, if you think about what that means, the tools that the company is using to protect their devices became the tool that was used to destroy them. And that is a supply chain of trust violation. Now, if we think of kind of what's going on here, as of this recording, Stryker has not confirmed a restoration timeline. No ransomware, no malware payload detected, but 200,000 devices wiped. Hospitals and surgical centers that depend on Stryker are already feeling the downstream effects. I kind of think that this pattern here with healthcare and then obviously critical infrastructure is it's kind of scary because there's a lot of like geopolitical conflict that is going on right now, which is this is obviously impacting, and this is like high visibility. So again, Stryker headquartered in Portage. They acquired Israeli medical tech firm Orthospace in 2019, a connection that researchers say may have contributed to Handala's targeting them specifically. The attack began in the early hours of March 11th, starting with their Cork, Ireland facility. Handala emerged after the Hamas attack of October 7th, 2023, and has since targeted Israel.
Israeli.
My God, infrastructure, Gulf energy companies, and Western organizations with ideological ties to Israel and its allies. So when you think about like Checkpoint and other companies, they are, kind of
In Israel.
tracking. Yeah. But yeah, this is a masterclass in why healthcare cybersecurity is one of the most critical and underfunded sectors in the industry. So, if you are trying to specialize in healthcare IT, This would be a great opportunity for you to start looking into some HIPAA, high trust frameworks, some medical device security standards, and then combining that with a little bit of operational technology. I can't even believe, I can't believe that happened.
So I can, and I think so. It's funny enough. Dr. Jury, she had hit me up and asked me about it. She's like, they in Michigan and blah, blah. So she hit me up on the side. I actually could probably play. I should play her voice note right here or not, but I should have asked her first. So I'm not gonna play it. But I think what happened is it's a supply chain thing. I don't think it was ransomware, like it said.
I don't think it was
I
either.
think I believe they probably got into Stryker systems from one of their smaller companies or whatever, and found a link to like some probably like this is all third party risk in my opinion, to where you found out they had access to something they couldn't access and had a way to get into Stryker kind of like more undetected. Because typically, if your company's been breached, assume that they've been in there at least, what is it? I think 6 months is 180 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to assume they've been in there 180 days. And we saw from last week with Trizetto, they was in there about a year. And so you got to assume that you've already been breached. That's a lot of things. That's what I normally used to say a lot of times in interviews, like, hey, well, I got to assume we already been a breach, because that's typically what you assume when you work in the IR. So by that standard is this, I don't call it like a logic bomb, but it could have been like, all right, look, if they do something to Iran, this is what we're going to do to them. And I think that's what is an if then. I think that's what happened.
I think that the fact that they just wiped stuff, are we going to see more of that? Because
absolutely,
we've talked about so many ransomware attacks. Is that old now? You know what I mean? Like now.
Well, this is honestly, this was easier because they already had access to everything.
Wiping it is crazy.
But that's the thing. This is why the GRC piece to everything has to make sense, because if it's over, okay. On my end, if we saw somebody do some MDM or weird IM stuff in Azure, we're gonna get a detection instantly, because it's gonna be over the threshold that we see. Now, it may not be a 1-to-1. Like if it's 1:00 now, maybe they did it at 1. We possibly may not see it to like 1:05 or 1:10 based on how the logs come in. If that happens, you gotta initially say, okay, Mayday, we don't see no change. This is, these people aren't online. We need to use our break guys accounts, whatever, and stop this, or whoever that person was to say with their account. Because what are you doing? That's not a change. We don't really do this. Yada, yada, yada. And so you could kind of stop the bleeding in. But at the same time, you don't know what patient 0 was. And for people who don't know who patient 0 is, that's literally, you're going to talk about whatever system was compromised first. So you don't know the scope of who's all in your environment. All you know is some stuff is happening that's not happening. So it could be definitely a long day for your team, but for them to do that much damage and you didn't stop it lets me know there is a lot of bad detections. Everybody's siloed. Policies are bad, because there should be a policy. And this is one of the things like we were talking about on a handover, because we were talking about making detections for this just in case, because everybody pretty much uses most of the time Intune. And Intune is just for people sometimes be twofold. One, if you have a company device or you got your own device, they can put a container on your phone so they can make sure like nobody should be able to access company information off your phone. Like if your phone gets stolen, they can instantly wipe it. That's literally what it's for.
Listen, when I first heard about the attack, that's what I thought happened. When I first heard that the devices were wiped, I thought Stryker did it, like as a security. Like I was like, well, at least they have, my logic was, okay, they got their devices enrolled. They have some sort of system they're using to control them. Maybe they just did that to be safe. But when I found out it wasn't them,
yeah, and I'm interested to see. So like even in Intune, you could do one or two things. You could retire a device where it's literally you can get the information back.
I don't think it's coming back.
Or they did the wipe disable, where it's all the data gone, and so it's like you just got a new phone.
Literally can you imagine? This is insane. Like it is so, y'all, they're not even asking for money. they're just like, you know what, I got something for you. We finna just like that's crazy.
But they said a long time ago, like the fights would not be on the battlefield.
Facts.
I mean, we got the missile stuff that's going
Yeah.
on and all that crap, and that's all one part of it. But now this is the part, okay, because people don't realize.
What's the movie called? The movie
Which one
that the Obamas had produced?
I don't know.
The one that was on Netflix about the end of the world with the Teslas and all the technology.
Oh, I didn't watch that one.
You didn't? It was good, but this is.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, this was most of these attacks are, I'll just say, negligence, because, like I said, people want all this experience, but there's probably a person out here that would have said, this person's account got too much experience, and I gotta know, okay. That's why I want to really follow this. So, guys, it's not gonna be the first time we talk about this, but I want to know: did people have access to do this from their regular account, or was it from their admin account? Because typically you should have these segmented because you're doing admin privileges inside of Intune. Who was compromised? All those different things, because technically you should have two different passwords, because technically you're probably not going to have MFA on a privileged account. So the people probably compromised the regular account and say, maybe their password is the same. Let's see what it is, and let's log in and see what they can do.
And this is why companies are this is another reason why PIM is so important, right? But companies are annoyed with having to PIM up, especially because okay, for example, it's only two of us. It's just me and you. Why we got to PIM? It's just me and you. I know you know, but that's the whole point. That's the point of it.
Yeah. So
this is the point.
It's that I don't remember we was talking about tabletops.
Yeah.
So we don't know when the last time they had a tabletop, because companies like that, it's like a monopoly. They making easy money because they like the people in their space that people go to. They get real lax because the money is coming in, but everything else takes a backboner. It's a lax environment. I got a friend that worked at another healthcare company, and he said it's pretty easy. Like a lot of them, think about it, a lot of people not attacking them, but now they should be on high alert.
Can you believe they just wiped it?
And the crazy thing is, now that affects people in real life.
No, how do you explain that to your employees? It's one thing to explain it to the world, but how do you explain that to your employees? How and then this goes into like, how are you even able to get in contact with these employees if they can't even access their devices, right? They've been wiped. So how do they even when you get a laptop and you're onboarded to a company, that's a whole process. When your device has been offboarded and you can't access anything, now how do you what tabletop? What are the lines of communication?
No.
If the line of communication goes out or down, like this is y'all, this is crazy.
If you work at Stryker, leave us a comment. Leave us a comment below if you work at Stryker. I hate that happened to the people with medical devices it affects, but this is what happens when the CISO. Matter of fact, you probably should Google right now and see if they got a CISO job opening for Stryker, because he definitely about gone at this point.
I can't believe that. I mean, obviously I can believe it, but this is crazy.
But
it's crazy.
It's also a theory of mine.
I'm like almost speechless.
It could be an inside job too. So now when it comes to all the geopolitical stuff, and this is not to what's the word? And look this up, make sure I'm using it right. Cast dispergence. I think that's how you say it. This is a word Stephen A say all the time.
Dispergence. Let me look that up.
Look, y'all, be learning in real time.
Dispergence means. Wait. I don't think I spelled it right.
Me either, because I know
because it said disperse.
Yeah, that's not. I don't know what it's not disparage, or maybe it's the other word, version of disparage.
Disparage.
I don't know. We're not. This is an English class. We'll figure it out. But I just want to say that this is where, and I would not be surprised, where companies start doing specialized monitoring on their overseas contractors and the people that they work for, figuring out who their companies are aligned with, because these people can also be insider threats now. And so the key word I also want to think about the Stryker stuff, I believe it could be also bad insider threat or actual insider, whether it's at Stryker or one of the companies that they have, like that's one of their suppliers that has like a really strong relationship with them because something ain't right.
I'm floored and it's scary. And if wow. Wow. I don't even have words for that. But I will say this. If you thought that was an interesting incident that happened, research the MITRE ATT&CK framework techniques that are used in wiper attacks. Learn a little bit more about the data destruction and those disk wipe tactics that were used in this scenario.
Yeah.
And then you can talk about that in the interview.
Yeah. That's why I said the policy should be in place. Okay, hey, if you got to do X amount of wipes, it needs to be another person got to sign off on it. So no matter what, you can't just do it by yourself. They got to go to a change that go into a thing, and it's an automation, and that person got to say, "I agree," for it to go through. That's what they got to do. So look, hire me for your strategist. I got you. I got you. I think since we're on the topic of having fun when it comes to breaches and stuff like that, I wanted to talk about Salesforce.